Necronomicon, the dawning of darkness. We begin with a lovely panning shot down to our abode in Providence, Rhode Island, because of course it is, where we meet our iconic protagonist and eligible bachelor, William Stanton. Our blissful slumber is interrupted by a knock at the door. Why, it's our dear friend, Edgar Wycherley, looking rather worse for wear, and not just because of his terrible lip syncing.
You just have to believe me. We're all in the gravest danger.
He hurriedly hands us a strange-looking item, telling us not to show it or give it to anyone, before pausing just enough to make it weird, and then fleeing outside. Before we can return to our nightmare-filled nap, there's yet another knock at the door. Why, it's Dr. Robert Eagleton, and William is just jazzed to see the man.
Dr. Robert Eagleton, physician and friend of Sir Christopher Wycherley. I would like to talk to you about his son, Edgar Wycherley, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a friend of yours. I fear greatly for your friend. So do his parents, and some of my psychiatric colleagues are talking of internment. You see, I would greatly value your considered opinion. Please, would you pay him a visit?
Yes, of course I will.
William agrees, and after grabbing some change and our keys, we set off to Pawtuxet Village, where Edgar's apparently staying.
They see me rolling, they hating.
Arriving at the village, we begin to accost the locals.
Please, I need information.
Yeah? Well, there's none here.
No one seems willing to speak to us. Either they're accustomed to adventure game protagonists, or they've gone deaf from the overbearing wind ambience.
Excuse me.
What is it?
Do you know where Mr. Wycherley lives?
Eventually, we find some lips that can be loosened with our currency, and the old woman directs us to the local grocer. The man is about as jolly as a kick to the shins.
Crumb and Son, at your service.
Anyway, he refuses to give us the lowdown until we've bought some overpriced items from his shop. But he eventually points out where Edgar is staying on a map for us. Heading to the address, we ring the bell.
Yes? Mr. Wycherley has gone out. Don't push it, he's out. The gentleman can't have heard. Perhaps young Sir would like his ears unblocked for him. No, let's scrap. Listen, my son. If you bother me again, I'll beat you to a pulp. Got it? Right, that's it. You're dead meat.
So William heads to Christopher Wycherley's place. He tells us about all of Edgar's recent autistic fixations.
Archaeology, then genealogy, then foreign travel, astronomy, and chemistry. Personally, I preferred his archaeology period. Edgar left many books and documents here relating to his recent research work.
After he teleports to the living room chair, we hurriedly change the subject and ask him about the painting.
This is Gregor Herschel, who was a wealthy Providence ship owner in the colonial era. Unlike my wife, Edgar loves this painting. Tell me honestly, don't you find the resemblance absolutely uncanny?
Sure. After we try to escape, Christopher mentions a Dr. Owens, who Edgar is working with, and to tell him when we have more news of Edgar's condition. So, we do some more digging back in the village on this Gregor Herschel character.
Hey, by Christ, this business has the smell of sacrilege about it. Pardon?
And we find out he was a goods trader, and that we should go do some digging in the local newspaper archives.
Good day, sir. Excuse me for interrupting your work, but do you have any articles in your archives about a fellow named Gregor Herschel?
It's surprising to see how Herschel still provokes a lot of interest today, but tread warily, for his is a tale of madmen. The last person to ask about him was Edgar Wycherley, an archaeologist. Gregor Herschel is a strange character from our town's past. He bought landing stages near Mile End Bay and made a fortune from the slave trade. In 30 years, he became the richest ship owner in the town, controlled a large slice of Providence's commerce, rubbed shoulders with high society, and got married to the daughter of one of its captains in 1767. He died in a fire at his farmhouse in April 1771, featured regularly in the paper from 1713 to 1771. Happy hunting, Mr. William Stanton.
How did he know our name? After being forced to search literally every single drawer in this room for clues for the next sailor cutscene to trigger, we return for even more salty conversation. And I'll do you a favor and skip over the adventure game busywork. The gist of our conversations confirm that Herschel was widely known in the harbor for smuggling both bizarre and illegal cargo from far exotic places, and that he gained a fearsome reputation as a result. We are pointed in the direction of yet another local, and he promises to meet us tomorrow after he finds the documents related to Herschel in his possession. In the meantime, we go check up on Edgar, who is finally at home. And his condition seems to have gotten worse. He has fully devolved into sinister whisper talking.
William, goodbye. Please be so kind as to give my regards to Mr. Eagleton and inform him that you yourself have observed that everything here is fine.
Now fully convinced of his deterioration, we give old Dr. Eagleton a buzz on the telephone.
Hello, Doctor. You wish to have my opinion. I'm sorry to tell you that I found my friend far from his old self. He introduced me to Dr. Owens, who was even stranger than Edgar. As I was leaving, he seemed to be crying out for help. Could you enlighten me as to the exact nature of his research?
Edgar revealed to me one day that the papers of his ancestor contained some incredible scientific secrets, for the most part written in a coded language, and that he was trying to acquire the ancient arts needed to understand what it was all about.
The odd thing was that I had the impression that he didn't speak freely.
There's only one way to guarantee his safety: to have him committed.
Hooray for cutting-edge 1920s medicine. After condemning our best friend to a padded hell for his crime of acting a little off, we continue our investigation at his father's house by asking to take a look at his research notes. Upstairs, we bumble around a bit, looking for his hidden porn stash, but instead find a book with strange symbols in it, and a spare key, presumably to his home. We head back to Edgar's pad and let ourselves in, proceeding to ransack his living room until we find a letter which also contains indecipherable symbols. Progress. And another one, which appears to be sent by a fellow brother in Almosin Metatron. He speaks about using salts to summon spirits and speak to them, as well as taking bodies from cemeteries as ingredients, and ending the letter with a customary praise Yog Sothoth. As if sensing our disquiet, here's Edgar to chew us out for breaking and entering.
What gives you the right to enter my house like this, stranger?
Edgar, don't you recognize me?
Except he's far too zonked to even remember us. So, we make our escape and tattle to Dr. Eagleton again.
Edgar has been carrying out the same research as his ancestor. He must have attempted and succeeded in an experiment that at first taught him some secrets before causing him to lose his mind.
Right. It's increasingly apparent that he is mad. Edgar, I'm forced to do this for your own safety.
By all the spirits at my command, I damn you. May Azeroth take you over. You shall remain enslaved to him forever.
With Edgar gone, we are free to examine his possessions. There's no sign of Dr. Owens, but we do find a map to some unknown location, presumably the bungalow that was mentioned offhand by the Dr. Owen guy earlier. After yet again confirming with Dr. Eagleton, who seems to be a bit too comfortable sending us off to investigate a possible cult.
If we want real evidence of Dr. Owen's activities, the only place to find it is the bungalow.
I understand, Doctor. I'm on my way there.
We set off. Not exactly timeshare material, is it? We puzzle our way inside and notice the astrological signs and symbols on the wall. On the table, we find a letter from Gregor Herschel himself, who speaks of finding a way to return after fate has dealt its final blow. He also mentions performing a ritual to ensure that, if your line does not die out in the years ahead, he who looks backward will come and use the salts that you leave to him. Well, shit. Looks like old Gregor is using Edgar to try and come back from the dead. Guess that explains why he was acting strange. Armed with this newfound knowledge, we head into a secret passage in the basement. William slowly makes his way through the catacombs, lighting torches to find his way through the literal blackness. Sometimes the game decides not to give William a torch to light, and just allows you to stumble around in the complete blackness, pixel hunting for like 30 minutes. Why would the developers do this? Why would they? Oh. Eventually, William brute forces his way into a new room, which happens to be Gregor Herschel's old study. After retrieving a lantern, thank God, we are met with a nasty surprise in the next room. Fuck's sake, William. After opening the chest back in the study, we find an alchemical kit and a gas can, and thankfully, another lantern. Exploring further, William finds himself in a laboratory. We busy ourselves with a ton of adventure game puzzle shenanigans, eventually gathering all the ingredients required to summon a spirit of our very own. Our pick of dead conversation partners is Elias Levy, one previously summoned by Herschel, and he's not too happy that we've rung him up again.
I have nothing to do with Herschel. I'm trying to save my friend from the grip of madness.
He confirms that Herschel is indeed a sorcerer who can possess others, and so killing him conventionally won't work. In order to stop Herschel from sinking the entire planet into the abyss, we must destroy him and dissolve his body in acid. Dr. Eagleton gives us a nice quick summary.
Who knows? Perhaps all that was devised by the wicked mind of Herschel before his death. And he planned to take over his descendants like this and travel from body to body through the centuries. As painful as it may be, we have to face the facts, my young friend. Edgar no longer exists. His memory has been erased. The man we know as Edgar is none other than Herschel, reassembling his army of the living dead to follow his diabolical plan.
You go to the bungalow, and I'll make my way to the asylum. I will question Edgar to find out whether he can be saved. If not, then I'll kill him.
So we make our way to the asylum for a friendly visit, strapped for the occasion.
What is the Necronomicon?
He came.
somehow not getting into trouble for cold-blooded murder, we find the Necronomicon hidden in an alcove in Edgar's home. We indulge our kleptomania by retrieving some other items lying around, like a note and an old label, and then return to our home.
That we have found the Necronomicon, we must go to Providence Library. You're going to meet a friend of mine.
But I don't even have a membership. Maybe he works pro bono.
The Book of Dead Words. It's an arcane magic text that basically deals with necromancy. It begins with the story of an ancient, banished race long since disappeared. Unfortunately, it will take me more than a week to produce a quick translation of the whole of the volume, and we don't have that much time. You're going to help me.
We assist the librarian with finding all the books he needs. Through the research, we discover the locations of various portals to the cities of the ancients. And, as luck would have it, there's one right here in Providence. William, with all the self-preservation instincts of a suicidal hamster, decides to head straight there. After aligning the various axes, we finally use that strange pyramid that Edgar gave us right at the start of the game, and are granted access to the ancient city. That appears to be a bad 3D Windows wallpaper. Poor bastard. He forgot his trail mix. Past that, everything is very green. We breeze through the store puzzle and are met with even more ominous architecture. Soon we are faced with a grand pyramid structure, and we head down.
Huh?
It's impressive how the ancients protected their great cities with puzzles that could be brute forced by smashing enough buttons. We make our way through a final maze and encounter the final puzzle, one that stands between us and Gregor Herschel's great ritual. How do we solve this grand contraption? Trial and error. It's trial and error. If we make it just in time, we interrupt the ritual and presumably subject Herschel to a horrific bath time.
How did I get myself out? I wouldn't be able to explain it to you. The ancient cities have been destroyed, of course. But I shiver with dread when I think of the monstrous nuclear chaos that lurks, thankfully hidden, within the Necronomicon. It is what I saw in a flash of light that brought about the sheer horror that has since been my constant companion. The sight so paralyzed my mind that I'm amazed that I still had my wits about me sufficiently to take the correct tunnel leading to the entrance in the hillside. It must have been pure instinct that guided me. It's probably just as well that I wasn't depending on reason.
Just for fun, I'll leave you with what happens if we don't make it in time.